Well, Fox News following breaking news right now. Actor David Soul, who played Detective Kenneth Hutchinson in the TV show Starsky and Hutch, has died. As a singer, Soul recorded 1 U.S. hit and 5 U.K. hits with the songs including Don't Give Up on Us in 1976 and Silver Lady in 1977. A representative confirmed Soul died overnight Thursday. No cause was given. David Soul was 80 years old. Robin, good morning.
Good morning, Brendan. We are live in Highland Park this morning, where the fire chief here is questioning why Detroit crews who responded to a massive apartment building blaze, why they left that scene when they did, when that fire was still raging. We've got reaction to both sides in my live report. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Robin. Well, folks, did you get the flu shot? Hospitals and doctors' offices are seeing a surge in viral infections. Coming up, find out who says it is not too late to take steps to prevent getting sick this winter. Details are ahead in HealthWorks.
Working for you. Fox 2 News Live at 11 starts now.
So much stuff going around right now.
I feel like there's no office place in America that has people that are not there because of what's going on.
I
know.
Right yeah. Well, we'll get to that, but good morning. Thanks for being with us on this Friday. I'm Amy Lange.
And I'm Brandon Hudson. We begin with Highland Park officials. They want answers. After an apartment building goes up in flames, it caused the family to lose everything. And the mother says that she, her husband, and their children jumped out of a window to survive.
And Detroit fire crews responded Monday night and fought the flames. But Highland Park's fire chief says Detroit Fire didn't stay to help them finish the job. Fox 2's Robin Murdoch is live in Highland Park now with more. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Amy and Brandon. You know, there are always two sides to every story, and that certainly is the situation here. The Highland Park fire chief, he is concerned and he is questioning exactly why Detroit crews who also responded to a massive fire at an apartment complex, why those crews left when they did, when there was so much work that needed to be done, while the fire commissioner in Detroit says his crews had to get to another emergency.
He jumped, and then he yelled for me to drop our children. I then dropped my 5-year-old out the window, and then I watched, and I dropped my 3-year-old.
Sharon Mayhawk understandably shaken after having to throw her young children to her husband below as their Tuxedo Street home burned all around them. The fire now out, but what it took to get it out has the Highland Park fire chief fuming.
If the shoe were on the other foot, if we saw that fire, we're not going to pull away from it. We're going to put it out until you got there, but then we're going to help you.
But that isn't what happened on New Year's night with crews out of Detroit. We're told DFD arrived at the apartment building blaze first, but didn't stay to help finish the job. Detroit's fire commissioner now firing back, saying they were pulled to help with a possible emergency in their city.
No, Detroit has no obligation to go to Highland Park. It's only under a request, and we were never requested. The men and women on the Detroit Fire Department went above and beyond to go into Highland Park to start the extinguishment of this fire.
That reaction, though, meant no action for several minutes, according to Highland Park fire officials, while they waited for Detroit rigs to move out of the way, then worked to get their own gear and crews in place.
It's a 4-family apartment building. We absolutely could have used help on that fire.
A fire that was eventually extinguished but took longer than it should have. The destruction devastating for those who called the complex home. Highland Park now asking for a sit-down with their counterparts who they have a mutual aid agreement with, so there isn't a repeat.
This is not about Highland Park Detroit thing. This is about somebody lost everything they had. And we need to understand where the breakdown came, that you thought that you didn't have to put a fire out that you're sitting at. That's one block away from your city.
Yeah.
So again, the Highland Park or the Detroit Fire Commissioner says the reason why those crews were pulled from that Highland Park scene was because they needed to respond to another possible emergency. Now, I did check to see if any meetings were scheduled between the two sides. No word that as of yet. Also no word on a cause for this apartment fire here in Highland Park. We are live in Highland Park. I'm Robin Murdoch for Fox 2 News.
Well, Robin, certainly when you hear mutual aid, we civilians think that that means that you're going to help each other out and stay to finish the job. So obviously those departments have some kinks to work out here. But again, as we heard, there is a family here who lost everything. Do we know if there's anything being done to help them?
You know, from what I understand, the fire chief here in Highland Park, he, as well as many of the firefighters, they have been in close contact with that family over the past couple of days, trying to help them get lined up with various places to live, clothes, food, all of that kind of stuff, because certainly this is just a horrible way to start the new year. So the officials here in Highland Park are doing everything they can to make things a little bit easier for them. Back to you, Amy.
Thank you so much. Robin Murdoch, as always, we appreciate you.
Well, Amy, from one fire to another, I want you to check out these images here. A Metro Detroit man is in big trouble, and this is all over a car repair. Authorities accuse him of burning down an historic building in Tennessee. Flames shot from the roof in downtown Morristown Tuesday night. One firefighter was hurt, but is expected to recover. Crews contained the fire to the building. 33-year-old Jeffrey Ciccarelli was traveling through Morristown recently when his vehicle broke down, and when he tried to get it repaired at a shop there, he ended up in a dispute over a bill.
Kind of told anybody who would listen that because he was treated this way, he planned to burn the town down. What attracted the law enforcement's attention to him was he was there among the people watching the fire, and he was kind of in and out with first responders asking questions about the fire and kind of, I guess, admiring his work.
So that's the suspect, and you just heard from the mayor of Morristown, Tennessee. Ciccarelli now faces a long list of charges. He's now ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation.
Pray for all those who are involved today in this tragic event, all their family members. Pray for all our teachers, our kids, all the families.
The town of Perry, Iowa, holding a candlelight vigil last night. The community coming together to grieve after a 17-year-old student opened fire at the high school. Police confirming a 6th grade student was killed in the shooting. 5 other people were hurt. This happened yesterday on the first day back to class at Perry's combined middle and high school. Perry's about 40 miles outside of Des Moines. Police say the shooter was armed with a pump-action shotgun and a small caliber handgun.
I got a call from my coworker stating that she said not to come to work because there has been a shooting and that we are evacuating.
Police say the gunman, a 17-year-old student, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This morning, investigators have not announced the motive in this tragedy, but other students say the gunman had been bullied.
I've been going to that school my entire life, and those kids would do horrible things to him.
He got tired of the harassment. Was it a smart idea to shoot up the school? No. God, no. And I am mad at him for that. Lord knows I am mad at him for that.
4 of the surviving victims are students. The 5th is a principal. Investigators are searching through the suspect's social media posts to see if there were any red flags.
Our hearts and thoughts go out to that entire community over there in Iowa as they grieve. Well, now to something that we have been talking about all week, and that's Detroit's crime rate being down, way down, to its lowest in nearly 60 years.
And one reason is because of something called focused deterrence. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin with a closer look at how it works.
We take it. We'll take it because when we have the high numbers, we have to deal with those.
Pastor Mo, a Detroit community activist, weighs in on the city recording the fewest murders since 1966 and helps us understand how one key program added to that progress. He's been involved in an effort known as focused deterrence, where second chances can make all the difference.
I've been there. When they knock at your door and there's a warrant for your arrest, you got to deal with that. But then there's been a second knock at your door saying, we don't want to arrest you. We want to give you a chance a way out of this.
Here's how it works. Imagine a nondescript room with a lot of security and a lot of chairs. Each chair has somebody in it who police know shoots people or has shot somebody. And they're told of what would happen if they get out of that life of violence, the help that's available, and what would happen if they continue to be violent.
The federal government, the state government, the local government, and so forth brings together a number of people who may have been involved with either violent crime or deviant behavior that shouldn't have been taking place, and basically saying, look, there's an alternative to this.
Dan DiBardino is the Crime Stoppers president and CEO. He told us about the programs that help people involved in group violence turn their lives around if they make the right choice.
They're telling these ladies and gentlemen, we'll help you get counseling, we'll help you get jobs, we'll help you if you determine that maybe you're stuck in a gang or gang-related activities and you want to get out. There is hope that things can happen, and we will be able to help you make things happen so you can move on with your life and get it straight.
The stipulation being that their part in group violence must end, full stop. Meantime, Detroit police officials say the homicide reduction is proof it takes focused deterrence and many other community-driven programs to get the job done.
You got ceasefire in the city of Detroit. You have Crime Stoppers. You have National Action Network. You got Force Detroit. You got several groups, organizations here in the city of Detroit that's rolling their sleeves up. And that's actually working.
Now it's about building on that success.
See, we the bridges, and we are bridging the gap. So now let's go ahead and invest in the bridges.
We will be hiring 100 more in the course of 2024. We are going to get the kind of reliability that we should have.
DDOT drivers getting a raise, and a big one. How will it help get passengers to and from where they need to go?
And also this morning, these pups, they had a rough start to their new year, but things are looking up for this precious pair. Stick around for their story and what happens next. But first...
Oh, so cute. Guys, 7-day forecast has a lot going on here, including some weekend snow and then a winter storm next week. We're going to talk about everything you need to know as we head into that weekend. All right, temps are a little cool. A lot of people talking about how cold it is. Oh, so cold outside. Woke up this morning, it was really cold. It's actually normal for this time of the year. We just haven't had a lot of normal temperatures. So when the highs get into the low 30s and the lows drop down into the 20s, it feels chilly. But you got to remember, this time of the year, this is a normal stretch of January weather for us. Another cold, dry day out there today. Some flurries as we head into the weekend. Remember, we haven't had a whole lot of snow around here. We're going to see some lighter snow, bigger snow potential as we move into next week, but still some questions we need answered. How far north is the warm air going to get next week? Because if it gets where it's expected to go, which is right on top of us, probably going to be a lot of rain before it switches over into some snow. So we'll be honing that forecast as we move through the weekend. As far as the weekend goes, these are the accumulations. Numbers, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, maybe as high as 1 to 2 inches off to the north with Sheboygan at 1.9, but not a ton. Things aren't going to be too terribly wintry, but it is going to feel like winter as we move through the day today. And then into the weekend, light snow at times on Saturday, same deal on Sunday. We'll get to the details of next week coming up in about 15 minutes. Brandon, over to you.
All right, Derek, we'll see you then. We'll have breaking news on the economy this morning. The December jobs report comes in with some numbers that surprised analysts. The report shows that the U.S. employers added 216,000 jobs for the month, and that number was well over 170,000 that analysts expected. It's the latest sign that the American labor market remains strong, even in the face of sharply higher interest rates. The unemployment rate remains unchanged, staying at 3.7%. It is the 23rd straight month that joblessness has come below 4%.
Well, speaking of jobs, there's some big news for bus drivers and people who might want to be a bus driver in the Motor City. Detroit announcing a pay raise for DDOT drivers. The goal is to attract new hires and make service better for riders. Kathy is waiting for the bus, one of the many Detroiters who rely on DDOT for transportation. And once again, she says that wait is way longer than it's supposed to be.
Not being on time, getting me to work late, even when I'm on an early bus, it's ridiculous when I'm late or anybody else late getting to work.
What's been your experience with it?
It's just not on schedule.
I know people personally that got fired from not being on time.
Because the bus was not on time.
Yeah, and they don't want to hear that.
It's a serious problem the city is trying to address, negotiating with the union for a raise for DDOT bus operators, along with a bonus for good attendance.
We're today announcing what amounts to a $6,000 pay raise for the operators of DDOT buses. And for those who are high attendance performers, it's an $8,000 raise.
Mayor Mike Duggan says it's an effort to hire and retain bus operators to get more buses on city streets and get them where they're going on time.
We will be hiring 100 more in the course of 2024. We are going to get the kind of reliability that we should have.
City council members who have to approve the $2 million deal, calling it a win for everyone.
This represents the power of collective bargaining and what happens when labor and city comes together and negotiates for the greater good.
But that greater good involves an array of people behind the scenes. The issue isn't just about the drivers. It's also about mechanics and all of the other people who make this transit system run.
We have a shortage of mechanics. We're about, they say we're about 30 short. We see it as a higher number. And as you know, we can't, if we don't have the buses on the street, they can't drive.
They're going to have to work on bathrooms for the drivers. They're going to have to work on paying the mechanics more. But this is a start.
A start Mayor Mike Duggan says he's committed to finishing to get Detroiters where they need to go.
We have to improve our on-time performance, and many times that's not the operators, that's the maintenance department. All of those things have to happen.
But for DDOT drivers like Michael Toller, on the job for 25 years, the commitment has always been constant and consistent.
At one time, I used to catch the bus to a job, and that schoolcraft driver got me to work every day on time. And I always have said, if I was to ever drive a bus, I would make sure I would do the same.
Anyone interested in becoming a DDOT driver, visit www.detroit.gov/employment. In Detroit, Amy Lange, Fox 2 News.
And new this morning from Warren, police investigate a multi-car accident overnight at 12 Mile and Hoover, right in front of Ascension Macomb Hospital. Our crew spotted at least 3 vehicles, 2 Dodges, along with a Honda. One person reportedly had to be cut out of one of those vehicles. Police are not releasing any information on the conditions of those who were involved. The intersection is back open. And an update this morning on that horrific explosion in Whitmore Lake that destroyed a home with a family inside.
And so very sad. One of the surviving victims, homeowner Richard Pruden, has been upgraded to stable condition at a local hospital. Officials say Pruden still has a long road to recovery after the blast last Saturday. His daughter, her husband, and 2 of their children were all killed in the blast while visiting from Arkansas over the holidays. Their other child survived and is also hospitalized. A vigil will be held in support of the family tomorrow at Whitmore Lake High School at 3 p.m.